take us out of Tom Clancy. We're not doing that. It's just every single one. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. I think we're all set. Maybe not. There we are. A bot right away? Whoa, that's new. Normally they wait for like an hour or so. Hello, Hudson. Welcome up. We've got a lot going on today. We got several things to go over. Firstly, Game of the Year. We're going to go over the categories and stuff. I'm going to go and do my vote stuff for all the Game of the Year nominations categories. We've got 2 shortish videos to look at. One was recommended. One's a nice video that I was actually curious in because it's a game that I have experience with, but not necessarily a lot. And then, of course, we're going to be loading up some Ultimate Edition later after everything, and basically just be getting into that until it's not fun. For Game of the Year, let me make sure this is up. The categories are all like, Game of the Year is at the top. And I don't want to do like the most important one and then move down to shit that I don't care about. So we're going to start from the bottom, vote for like best esports team or whatever the fuck, and then just move up through all the categories. Now these, we're going off vibes because like I don't know anything about esports. You got like some dudes standing in a forest. They have a trophy. They're just standing there. They've got a trophy. So like one of these guys with a trophy has to be the winner because, like, why would you not want your accomplishments right on display? Counter-Strike, Dota, and Valorant. I think they've got the biggest trophy. Let's give it to them. That's it. Then we go back. Best esports athlete. I don't know any of these motherfuckers. Brock Smolder, Chovy, Forsaken, Kakaru, Menard, Zaiwu. I like Kakaru, that sounds nice. Then we'll go back. I haven't read the Game of the Year list. Doesn't interest me too much. Oh, I'm always interested in Game of the Year. Mainly like the categories that matter. This kind of stuff it doesn't matter to me. Best esports game? Fuck if I know. The only one of these I know anything about is Valorant. Let's vote Valorant. Because I played a few matches of that with a buddy of mine. Content Creator of the Year. I don't know who that is. I know Kai. I know Critical. I'm going to go with Peanut. This is a guy who I don't know a whole lot about, but every time I see him on TikTok, the clips get me. They work every time. Most anticipated game. Why is this a category? This is just what's the most interesting? Which, like, whatever. Resident Evil 9, Witcher 4, Wolverine, Grand Theft Auto 007. Isn't that just Hitman? GTA is going to win this, obviously. Wolverine, I'm skeptical on, mainly because I just wasn't that happy with Spider-Man 2, and I hope they kind of recapture that. I am most anticipating The Witcher 4, because I'm curious what that's going to look like. After, I mean, CD Projekt Red have not made a bad game in a long time. Like, 2077 came out in a rough state, but it wasn't like the worst game ever made. Best adaptation? Minecraft, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell, Last of Us, Until Dawn. I've only seen one of these, and I didn't necessarily like Last of Us Season 2. I liked the first few episodes. And then it started off kind of strong, and then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as it went. But I'll vote for that because I have not seen any of the others. Best multiplayer. I've only played Battlefield 6. I gotta go with the things I've played. Best racing, Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog is the only fast one there. Best sim, Final Fantasy Tactics, Jurassic World, Sid Meier, Tempest Rising, The Alters, and 2 Point Museum. Man, I didn't hear anything about any of these games. Dinosaurs. Hello there, Flame Lord. Most opinionated thing in terms of the list. There's a lot of opinion-based stuff going on in a lot of these. Best family game. Lego Party, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Voyagers, Mario Kart, Sonic, Split Fiction. Split Fiction is... I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I'm sure that Haze Light did a lot of good stuff. That doesn't feel like a family game. I feel like I don't even know if Donkey Kong is multiplayer. I feel like Mario Kart fits that kind of vibe. Aren't these Lego games like single-player platformers? Are we that scuff of choice of like family-friendly games to pick from? Best fighting game. Man, I don't even reckon. These are like 2 of these are remasters. At least the 2 that I recognize. That's crazy. I don't even recognize those 2. I think this is it's a Riot Games thing. Let's go with that. They've given me plenty of gooning material. They can take my vote. I have seen me play Mortal Kombat. I've played Mortal Kombat a lot. Like I really liked MK11 and MK1, but like the remaster collection of like the first 3 games or whatever. Come on. Best RPG. Okay. Rich player customization, progression. I haven't played Wilds or Outer Worlds 2. Avowed I had a lot of fun with, but nothing in the story was capturing me just enough. Kingdom Come Deliverance, we remember playing that a month ago. It's definitely not my kind of game, but I was kind of impressed with a lot of the things going on. Clair Obscur, I think is less of an RPG than like either of those 2. Like it's really only RPG in that you like have builds and stuff that you're making, but you're not like making the character. Like the characters are all what they are. So for me, it'd be between Avowed and Kingdom Come. Like I prefer Avowed, but Avowed didn't do anything that like wowed me. Like I liked the art design and I like the setup and everything. But I know Kingdom Come Deliverance, it like kind of blew a lot of people away. I'm probably going to give it to KCD2 and trust the tertiary things I've heard. Slow Burn, yeah. I mean, the prologue was fun, but then as soon as like the game opened up, I was less interested in it. Best action adventure. I've only played Hollow Knight and Yote. Heard good things, but I like Yote more than Hollow Knight. Or not Hollow Knight, Silk Song. But Silk Song was very much not my type of game. For better or worse. Best action game. Battlefield 6, Doom, Hades 2, Ninja, Shinobi. Doom the Dark Ages. Doom the Dark Ages was my Game of the Year pick. And then Expedition 33 came out and I played that and it changed immediately. Best VR game. Alien, Arkin, Ghost Town. There's a Deadpool VR game. Midnight Walk. I know nothing about any of these games. I didn't even know. I think I vaguely remember the Deadpool one being shown off at like a game thing. At the Xbox showcase or something like that. Man, I really don't have an opinion on anything here. I'll go with this one, Midnight Walk. That cover is really interesting. It's giving me like Little Nightmares vibes. Mobile. Oh, come on. Does anyone care? Best mobile. There's a Destiny mobile game. Crazy. Sonic. Let's do Sonic. I don't give a shit about mobile games. It's not real gaming. Best debut indie game. Blueprints. Obscure. Despelote. Dispatch. I've heard everyone say that Blueprints is amazing, but I don't know anything about it. Or Despelote. Clair Obscure. That feels unfair. And then Dispatch. I mean, out of these, the ones that I know here, I think it's kind of unfair for Clair Obscure to be an indie game. Like, I get that it is independent, but independent is such like a wide gradient between like independent, like small studios and massive independent studios, but it's gonna go to Expedition. Best indie game. Oh, so debut and then just best indie game overall. I don't even know these other ones. Hades 2 I know, but I don't know anything about it. Again, Silksong, Expedition 33. I feel like I played a lot of new games this year that just were not the games that are showing up on the Game of the Year listing. It's going to go to Expedition 33 for me. It'd be fun to see him sweep. Best community support. Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy 4, Fortnite, or 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky. I know Baldur's Gate 3 and No Man's Sky have continued to like update and add small things, but again, very small things. I like Helldivers 2 and how much that game has grown since it came out. So that one's going there. Best ongoing game. Fortnite, Final Fantasy, Rivals, No Man's Sky, Helldivers. I'm going to give it to Rivals. Honestly, I am kind of surprised. Not a lover of Dispatch, for shame. I made a whole video about it. I liked Dispatch. Dispatch, I just don't think is very good. It's charming. It's fun. But it's not, like, good, I would say. Like, it's not doing anything that, like, blew me away. I was charmed by it. I liked the personalities and the voice actors. But not much else than that. But Marvel Rivals, the amount of shit they've pumped out of Marvel Rivals is almost bad. Because, like, every time I log into that game, like, once a month or once every few weeks, it's like a completely different fucking game. What you get with a lot of live service games. But at least for a game like Apex or Siege or whatever, it takes like 3 to 4 months for something to change. Rivals, literally every 2 weeks that I log into it, there's like a whole new event. There's a whole new mission thing to do. There's a fucking PvE mode. They are fucking cranking shit out. Games for impact. Meaningful messages. I don't know any of these games. I'm sorry. Consume Me, Despelote, Lost Record, South of Midnight, Wanderstop. South of Midnight is the only one I've heard about, and I do like the art direction. That big catfish and crocodile and that one level they showed off. I love that shit. We'll go to that one. Because I don't know anything else. Innovation and accessibility. Shadows, Atomfall, Dark Ages, EA, and South of Midnight. This is also going to go to Doom the Dark Ages. The shit you can do to that game where you can change like enemy damage, how fast the projectiles are, the fact that like there's so much options that you could make the game harder, technically. And I did the opposite. I played through that game. I technically beat it on Eternal Nightmare or whatever the fuck the hardest difficulty is. And I literally just make my speed and damage 1,000,000 and make enemy speed and damage 0. And I cheesed my way through the fuck out of that final difficulty, which I just love. We're coming up on it. Best performance. Troy Baker for Indiana Jones. Kanatsu Kato for Silent Hill. Not familiar. Erika Ishii for Coyote. Jennifer English for Clair Obscure. Charlie Cox for Clair Obscure. And Ben Starr for Clair Obscure. Crazy. I don't know. I want to give it to Erika Ishii. I liked Atsu's character, but I don't think her like performance necessarily. Like I could always feel like her in the booth behind the voice. I feel like I forget his name. The guy who plays Charles, who plays oh fuck, I'm gonna remember the brother's name. Jubei. I feel like he was doing a better job in the game. Troy Baker does a killer Harrison Ford impression, but I'm gonna give it to Charlie Cox. It feels like it's cheating because he is like a seasoned actor, but his like performance as Gustav is great. I love hearing his voice in that. Audio design. Battlefield 6, Clair Obscur, Yote, Silent Hill, Death Stranding. As far as like audio design outside of like music, Battlefield 6 I've played, but nothing but the audio has like blown me around. Keep getting recommended videos of why Robert Robinson is a perfect character. Oh my god! People need to like take a creative writing class or something. Robert Robertson is not close to a perfect character. Go watch the Dispatch video, because I'm not going to sit here and just repeat all the points I made in that video that I put out a day ago. I do like Ghost Yote's sound design. We're going to go there. All of like the sounds of nature and how like the wind flows through the trees and stuff. It's so fucking immersive. That I do love. Score and music, Expedition. I'm not even going to think about it. Expedition, 137 tracks are around there of just ear cocaine. Not ear candy, ear cocaine. That shit gets fucking deep within your eardrums. It has been on my soundtrack forever. On my playlist forever. Fantastic fucking music. Lorient starred? Yeah. Great. Best art direction. We're coming up on the end. Clair Obscur, Death Stranding, Yote, Hades, Silksong. Silksong I did like what I saw of. I guess I just didn't play enough of the game. I played it for like 2 hours on stream that one time, and that literally was it. Hades 2, I haven't seen much. Yote, I do like. That was one of the things that stuck out to me when I like put together in my Yote review, where it was like the way the world expresses itself is really cool. But I don't think it's necessarily that much more incredible than Ghost of Tsushima was. Clair Obscur. I don't think it's necessarily like super creative implementation. I guess design would be more for Expedition. Like, my main thought now is like Silksong I think is better like from like a technical, because they're doing all of like this actual animation and it looks amazing, versus like Expedition 33 is more like I just like the art design a lot, like how all the different Gestrels and Nevrons and stuff look. But I guess they kind of also take inspiration from like Dark Souls style games. So we'll give it to Silksong because it's not unique enough. It's unique, it's like incredibly unique, but it's not unique enough for me to like warrant giving it there instead of somewhere else. Best narrative, Clair Obscur. Best game direction. I've only played 33 in Yote. Yote, I think direction and like cinematography and stuff was one of the weaker parts in that game. So it's going to go to Clair Obscur. All right. Now we come to it. Game of the Year. Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, somehow, Hades 2, Silksong, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I know a lot of people like Deliverance 2. I know a lot of people like Silksong. Heard many good things about Hades 2. I haven't heard a lot of good things about, like, I haven't heard, like, bad things about Donkey Kong, but, like, I've not heard anything good about it either. Death Stranding 2, I heard nothing about Death Stranding 2. I feel like that one kind of came and went, and then Clair Obscur. My game of the year is Clair Obscur, by a country mile. Like, I made an 8-minute long Glaze video about Clair Obscur before I then went and made another hour-long narrative dissertation over the story of Clair Obscur. Clair Obscur was always going to be my game of the year. After I was done playing it, I was like, there's nothing that is going to beat this. And I still feel like that. We're going to come down to this. I don't know, a lot of people talking about Death Stranding 2. Yeah. A lot of the things I saw seemed to give the vibe that it was just sort of like similar to what Death Stranding 1 was. But I guess if you like Death Stranding 1, you'd probably like 2 a whole lot. I don't really care about Death Stranding. I'm not a huge Kojima guy, and I never played the first one, so I have no interest in the second. I know Conan O'Brien and like Monster Energy and bullshit like that is in there. It looks good, like from like a technical perspective, it looks awesome, but I'm not that interested in it. Okay. We're going to move on to lame, gay video reactions. First is a video that was sent to me in the Discord. If you're seeing this in the future or in the middle of it or whatever, and you want me to watch a video, specifically if it's like one that pertains to different topics and whatnot we discuss on the channel and whatever else or whatever on streams, just send it to me and I'll check it out. It will be interesting. I watched the first like 30 seconds to a minute just to get like a vibe on it. I didn't know. You told me that this was like a very small creator. I didn't know how small you meant. This video has 30 views from a month ago, and the channel has 20 subscribers. I don't know how we came across this video, but I'm also of the opinion that you don't have to be like a super big person for your voice to mean anything. And he's talking about Gears, so if somebody's talking about Gears, I guess we gotta listen to it. Of course, this is not whatever is in the video a reason for you to go ever reach out to somebody, especially somebody who's got such a small presence on YouTube like this. Effectively, everything going on in this video is what do you call it? Pointless. This has no reach. 30 people saw that. That's a high school classroom worth of people saw that. I guess we're just going to go through this and kind of see what general people think of Gears. And if it gets too unbearable, we're just going to move on to Ice's video. I'm happy Gears of War is on PlayStation. I'm really happy Halo's coming to PlayStation. I hope other Gears games and Halo games show up on PlayStation. Yeah, it would be really cool. I think there's definitely going to be E-Day on PlayStation and the other games eventually. It just depends on when and if they choose to remaster them, because they've remastered Gears 1 twice now. And have not touched the other games. But, I mean, I would be fine with them just porting the 360 version over, like upscaled how it is on the Series S and X consoles over to PlayStation. Just do that. You don't even have to make new stuff. Just port it over. You might have to do new stuff if you're trying to make it crossplay and get the servers running like between PlayStation and Xbox and PC or whatever, but honestly, it doesn't even have to be like an upscale or like a remaster of any kind. Or I guess it would be upscaled, but it doesn't have to be like a full-on remaster thing. Literally just port them over, and I would be happy with that. But we're going to get into this and see how much I hate it. It'll be fun. Gears 3 will likely be on PlayStation, then Army of 2 getting its online. Yeah, Army of 2 is dead. That's not coming back at all. Imagine if they remastered Gears of War 2, or imagine the reaction to that level. You know, the one, no spoilers. Are you talking about Maria? There's a lot of moments that I think would be interesting. I don't really care. I'm not just too massive on like the nostalgia aspect of it, so I don't really have a specific dog in the game for remasters. I've talked about this many, many times. Like, I care more about getting newer stuff, like E-Day. But we'll see. Like, I'll be there. I'll play a Gears 2 or Gears 3 remaster, but I'm not itching to have it. Let's get into this. Gears of War, a symbolic interpretation. I'm curious to see what symbology he draws out of this. About that, well, there's so many like random things that are played for shock value in Gears of War 2. You're either talking about Ty or Maria or the Queen, or I guess those are like the biggest moments. E-Day does or add new things that we hadn't considered. I hope so too. I hope it at least has a cohesive and, even if it's simple, a well thought out narrative. because if it's completely contradictory and completely like written by somebody who had never even thought of like what a character arc is, then I don't care. Like, I want it to have something. We'll get into this now.
So why are Microsoft re-releasing the original Gears of War in 2025? Why aren't we seeing a sequel to Gears 5? As someone who played the original Gears of War when it was first released on the Xbox 360 and considers it to be one of the finest action games of all time, why am I skeptical about this move from Microsoft? In this video, I'll be exploring what made the original Gears of War so impactful, not only for its gameplay, sound and graphics, but what made the characters and story resonate on a deeper symbolic level. Is it just
on a deeper symbolic level? Nah, people that like resonate with the warm level. Oh yeah, I said warm like as in heat. But yeah, the hearts, that would be interesting to see like properly leveled up in high def intestines and shit. But people don't connect or resonate with Gears characters on a deeper level. They connected with them because they're big buff dudes and they like their personalities. There's not like, it's not that deep. A lot of Gears of War has a huge Mexican audience because Dom is Latino. Like, that is it. Like, that is where that is. And him being, one of the main characters has definitely like helped give people like an identity they can cling on to, which is great. But like trying to pretend like there's like some deep like woven symbology into the mythology of the games or whatever, you gotta stretch it very far.
just another dude bro shooter about meat-headed Marines that's stuck in the past and perpetuating harmful stereotypes? Why would...
There you go. That is an accurate description of Gears. Whether or not the stereotypes are harmful, it's what that, like, you can debate that. That's going to change from person to person, but they are stereotypes. Like, Baird is like the dickish mechanic dude. Cole is a black man who is not only a star national athlete, but also a music star. Marcus is one of your most generic action hero protagonists ever. And then Dom, this is not necessarily a stereotype, but it is kind of funny that, like, the main thing that Dom's character is associated with is family. As, like, a man who is, like, clearly... I mean, he's not Mexican, because Mexico doesn't exist in Gears, but, like, as a Mexican dude, the fact that, like, his main thing in the story is family, it's a little funny. The fact that, like, I think there's a very non-zero chance that he's just based on Dominic Toretto from Fast and the Furious. I don't know when the first of those movies came out. I assume it's after or before Fast and the Furious. When did the first one come out? 2001. And okay. So there were 3 movies out before Gears came out. So I think there's a very clear non-zero chance that Dominic was just based on Dominic Toretto. Loyalty and camaraderie. I mean, yeah, but that's also something that, like, all the characters generally have. Autocorrect cannot understand what I'm saying using speech to text. Oh, that's fine. I just had to piece it together. Let's keep going.
Was it necessary for Microsoft and the Coalition to resurrect the original game to draw us in again, given that their plan was to replace Marcus Phoenix with a strong female lead, a trope that has ironically become a stereotype in
Hold on, what? Where the fuck did that come from? What was he saying?
past and perpetuating harmful stereotypes? Why was it necessary for Microsoft and the Coalition to resurrect the original game to draw us in again, given that their plan was to replace Marcus Phoenix with...
I feel I'm getting, like, thrown off by the syntax here. I feel like he's saying, like, 3 different sentences that need punctuation put into them. Like, he's saying, why do they need to do a new game? Is it to draw us in again, just to replace Marcus? But there's none of that there. He's just reading off a script. That's going to make this very hard. We're going to be, like, reacting to a Shadows video here. But hold on, let's go. Given their plan was to replace Marcus Phoenix
with a strong female lead, a trope that has ironically become a stereotype in its own right in modern games. Will they finally be giving gamers what they want, or will this be another bait and
A stereotype? I mean, like, you could say that, like, a female lead is a stereotype, but, like, that means nothing. Like, a male lead is a stereotype in all of gaming. How many, like, are we going to say that, like, every game from the 360 area is stereotyped because all of them have a strong male lead? Cliche? Yeah, it's more cliche than stereotype. That's, like, not how you use that word. But, like, I can't think of that many examples of, like, a series with, like, a male lead getting replaced with a female lead. Like, you could say, like, The Witcher and Last of Us are the ones that come up to mind, but those are, like, not characters that come out of nowhere in the same way that Kate kind of did. Because Kate was a new character that got added on versus, like, Ciri and Ellie were characters that were around from the beginning. And, like, basically what the story revolved around to begin with. So I don't know what stereotype he's going to be talking about, or how Ide is a bait and like, how do you do that? That, like, Ide comes out and they bait and switch Dom and Marcus for, like, a female. But you think, like, halfway through Ide they're going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, this is Susie McTits. She's going to be taking over as protagonist now. It's like, what are you talking about? He's going to contradict himself? Oh, fun. This is fun. But I want this to be an example. Just because nobody has watched your video doesn't mean you can't be a fucking moron. We'll keep going.
Switch, bringing back the original cast, only to deconstruct and replace them all over again. Stick around to find out why.
Why would they do that? Outside of, like, this gang stalker paranoia about women.
Almost 20 years later, the original Gears of War feels as refreshing as it is familiar. It's the return of the king. I went back and listened to a talk.
Man, that editing is amazing. Oh, man. He needs to, like, turn the volume up on the clips. I love seeing videos from people that, like, haven't used a video editor. But they're like doing things that they know should be in a video, where he's like, okay, chapter change, we're gonna hard cut to a clip of the game with the title up and put a little subtitle for, like, what the chapter is, but it's, like, in basic Arial font. No transitions, no anything else. The audio is at, like, negative 10 dB. Batman in the comics has been deconstructed and restructured like 1,000 times. Yeah, that's also not necessarily a bad thing. I guess Gears has never had, like, a reboot style thing, which I kind of hope Ide isn't. I hope Ide is not a soft reboot type thing. I'm to an extent. Like, there are changes and stuff they make that they're, like, trying to pass off. It would be dependent on the change, and I can't even think of anything off the top of my head. Like, I'm not obtuse to change, but I would rather it be acting more as a prequel than a soft reboot. They're afraid of something not to worry about, basically.
Talk given by Cliff Bleszinski, the lead game designer from 2007 at the Game Developers Conference, in preparation for this review. He strikes me as an intuitive person. He said that when he starts making a game, he doesn't really know what he's doing. He has a couple of ideas and then just goes with it, feeling things out. I don't always think that fun is one of those things that you can plan in excruciating detail in a design document, he said. I think it's one of those things that you feel through, unquote. I wonder whether his deeply intuitive approach to making Gears of War is what made it such a powerful work of interactive entertainment, because it was so unconstrained by our modern sensibilities and political...
Okay, hold on. Everything was unconstrained by modern sensibilities. Because there were no sensibilities in game design at the time. This is going to be a... Are we blaming Gears of War on woke? I've talked about Gears of War a lot, by the way. It does not hold up. The original definitely doesn't hold up, and you can feel a lot of that in a Reloaded. We'll see it when we get into the multiplayer and we start playing matches and stuff. It sucked. I've been playing a lot of Gears 4 multiplayer, like last week when we played Gears 4 on stream, and then I've, like, been going back and forth between, like, Reloaded, just to, like, help myself. I was like, do I really hate this, or am I just, like, not used to Gears? And Gears 4 is my favorite game, so I went back and I played that, and then I jumped back into Reloaded. I hate it so much. It is so dog water.
political correctness. It just sounds like they really wanted to make an awesome game, and that creative freedom and focus on fun enabled them to tap into deep archetypal...
Okay, yeah. I agree. Focusing on fun over like a super corporatized thing like Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is better. That's how you make a good game. That's how Larian did it. That's how Sandfall did it. It has nothing to do with political correctness. Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the most politically correct games of all fucking time. Every single character in that is hypersexual and trying to fuck you, no matter who or what you are, even if you're a fucking bear. That has nothing to do with being PC or woke. That is just not how that works.
Patterns of storytelling, allowing them to design a game without fear. Listening to a younger Cliff Bleszinski made for an interesting contrast with an older Cliff, who recognized that his 2020 game, Lawbreakers, failed commercially because...
2020? That was not a 2020 game. The game came out in 2017. This post is from 2020, true. But that's not what this is.
It was, quote, too woke, unquote. He claimed that...
Lawbreakers was not bad. It did not fail because it was woke. It failed because it was a bad hero shooter that was competing with Overwatch at the height of its game. And it, like, restricted itself to certain platforms. It's just a bad game. Games fail all the fucking time. They don't fail exclusively because of woke. That's just not true. Again, see Baldur's Gate or like any of like the big massive games. I'm sure they're woke in some form or another. All of these are. But that's not why Lawbreakers failed. It was just a bad game. Oh man.
Implementing progressive policies such as having gender-neutral bathrooms and not sexualizing female characters alienated parts of the gaming audience and contributed to the game's poor sales. But in 2007, the younger Cliff was unrestrained by a desire to challenge traditional ideas, enabling him and his team to draw upon universal themes and archetypes that are better...
Please stop saying 2007. I mean, that's like when that interview was from, but like they made this in 2005, 2004. I feel like there needs to be a look into your... I'm in criticism support mode of like telling you, Neon Edge Gaming, when you write a script, do your research, make sure that everything lines up. Because it's one of the things I focus on, because it's like I beat myself up whenever I don't catch it or if I fuck something up like that. Do your research and make sure that everything you're claiming, and even if it's like a small thing that's just like being nitpicked, make it right. Because if the small things are right, the big things are right. If you can't even get the small things right, like the timeline, I'm going to be less inclined to be good faith about your big things. And that should just be like writing 101, or like retrospective writing 101, I guess.
Better able to connect with people and elicit a sense of fun and excitement rather than a game that reimagines or subverts these symbols and just ends up provoking a different kind of reaction in people. He was not trying to advocate for a political cause. He just...
Hold on. Lawbreakers, like, subverting... How does it subvert fun? You don't... The like implication here is that like gender neutral bathrooms are the opposite of designing a game that is fun, which just doesn't make any sense. Where's the correlation?
Wanted to make an awesome video game, which is precisely what he did. Now the original Gears of War...
Also, like, constraints or whatever, that's also another bad example, because in Lawbreakers he was even less constrained. It was his own studio. He didn't even have someone like a producer like Rod who had to like approve everything. He was just able to do what he wanted. It's like it wasn't like he was pressured, or he like would have been pressured to make it have gender neutral bathrooms or whatever the fuck. If you're playing like a hero shooter and your biggest concern is what the icons on the bathroom that are in a corner of the map that you don't interact with look like, first of all, you're a fucking moron. And if you think that's the reason the game failed, let me tell you, buddy, that's not that has nothing to do with whether or not the game is a success. Your game just fucking sucks. If the sign on a bathroom that players don't even interact with because it's a video game and you don't take shits if that sign is enough to tank your game, buddy, let me hold your hand. Because it does not fucking matter.
Started off as a game called Unreal Warfare. It was going to be a large-scale, vehicular-based operation. The developers were fans of games like Tribes and Team Fortress, featuring character classes such as medics and engineers. So they thought maybe they should do something with vehicles and territory control. But in the process of brainstorming their game, one of the original pitches they came up with was an idea that they titled Resident Kill Switch. He was a big fan of the Resident Evil games and loved the horror elements and pacing of them. Then he saw the game Kill Switch, which Cliffy considered to have the best implementation of a cover system he had ever seen. Flying around, taking cover and blind firing around corners. At that point, what would become Gears of War had no cover system. It was an FPS with large-scale vehicular combat. However, they then realized that they could enhance the game's pacing by refining the cover dynamic, making it easier to use, more intuitive.
This is just a
and
bad
most
breakdown of
importantly,
the
your
development of
squad mates
Gears.
could become panicked and afraid. However, they ultimately gave up on this approach as they didn't want the game to spiral into a negative feedback loop, which ultimately wouldn't be enjoyable for the player. Their priority was making a fun game. But as in
Cool. I'm still failing to see how gender-neutral bathrooms function into how a game is fun or not.
intuitive as he sounds in the talk, he says that iteration without control is chaos and anarchy. You need to have guidelines. You need to have rules for what your game is about. Now, one of the rules that I picked out, which I found quite interesting and will help us transition into talking about the finished game, is about the bad guys in the game. They said, right, we do not want to have any aliens from space. The villains in this game were going to be from the underground of the planet. And this, of course, would make for all kinds of interesting scenarios of seeing holes burst out of the earth and creatures pouring out of it. So let's talk about the world that they created for this game.
I'm excited for this because just off rip of like talking about Cliffy V as if he made Gears of War 1 in 2007, I'm ready for the Gears of War lore. Oh, fuck. Gears of War lore airballs to start dropping. He talks so damn slow. By the time he's done, the snail gets around the world. He is incredibly fucking slow. He is like textbook reading off a script, which, like, you know, you go back to the earliest videos I have on the channel, I sound like that too, but like, look up a class. He sounds old too, which kind of hurts.
Gears of War is set on the fictional planet of Serra, once a
True.
lush and verdant world, now desolate and ravaged by war. The story begins with the emergence of the Locust Horde, a nightmarish race that rises from beneath the Earth's surface to wage war against humanity. The Locust
It's not Earth's surface because you just said the planet Sarah, which means it's not Earth, and Earth doesn't exist. I'm nitpicking.
to assault reduces Serra to ruins, and what remains of human civilization takes refuge in underground cities known as Jasinos. Now
Whoa, what the fuck did you just say? What's left of humanity takes refuge in underground cities known as Jasinos? What the fuck is a Jasino? What the fuck is a Jasino, dude? What the fuck? The locust come from the underground. Did you not just talk about that? This is what I was talking about research, where it's like, if you can't tell me that you understand the basic plot of the Gears of War games that you're supposedly such a big fan of, and you're going to tell me that the humans come from an underground city called Jasino? They say Jacinto immediately in Gears of War 2. If you've played Gears of War 2, you know what Jacinto is, and you know it's not an underground fucking city. What the fuck, dude? How do you fuck that up so hard? What the fuck? Did I know the planet's name is Ares? Yeah, I did know that. It's also one of the names of the... What is it? I think one of the names of the moons is like that too, where it's like a god or some idea that's just spelt Rizea, I believe. It's just Aesir backwards, which is like the name of like the gods from Norse mythology. He's going to go mad with how he views the setting and some choice... God damn it. Is there any like TOS words in here? Like, what do you mean by choice words? Do you mean like Synthetic Man style words, or do you mean like slurs? Because if there's slurs in this video, then we're not watching it. But yeah, I think it's Rizea. is Aesir. Fascist wording. Okay. Backwards. Because everything has to be related to war. I don't think the Aesir are typically war related, but that's like the Norse gods like Odin and Thor. The more like popular ones, I guess you would say. Frigg, Heimdall, those types.
Graphics in Gears of War, both in the original version and in this remastered 2025 version, are an absolute masterclass in visual storytelling.
Okay, no. The Ultimate Edition visuals are nice. The 06 version, not so nice. It's nice by 06 standards, but like it doesn't really hold up at all. And then visual storytelling, maybe, very basically. Like it doesn't do a bad job at visual storytelling, but I wouldn't call it a masterclass.
The game's setting draws significant inspiration from European architecture, particularly from London, with the original title's design influenced by a trip Cliff Bleszinski.
Isn't that Greco-Roman architecture? Isn't isn't this Gothic? Like Gothic Greco-Roman architecture? Isn't that where it comes from? I don't think this comes from London. I think London and the United States based all their stuff off of Greco-Roman architecture.
He took to the British capital, which included views of St. Paul's Cathedral and the city's architecture.
That cathedral looks nothing like the building you're showing me.
By a blend of styles, incorporating aspects of Regency Britain, which contributes to the game's distinctive look. Now, going back to Cliff's 2007 talk at GDC, it's interesting to hear about how they developed the baddies for this game. The Locusts were originally called Geist, but after doing a trademark search, they found that Nintendo had already developed a game called Geist, Geist being the German word for ghost. So they brainstormed and came up with the name The Worms, because they were creatures from the underground of the planet. But they weren't happy with that, and went back to the drawing board until they eventually...
I'm glad they changed it. Can you imagine if it was The Worms? Cliff just calls it European. I mean, I guess. It's only like European in the fact that Europeans stole it from ancient Rome.
Actually came up with the idea that they ended up with, which was the name Locusts.
I beg, please do a second draft of the script. They eventually came to the idea that they ended up with.
Which he says in his talk is a very unsettling name and implies a plague. So I just found it really interesting, the whole creative process and these legal obstacles that they faced, and how as a consequence of that, the story had to evolve and the characters had to change and adapt. And I think what they ended up with was a far more powerful name and concept for the villains. The Locusts are creatures of the underworld. And why that's such a powerful thing is in terms of the symbolism of the underworld. We know that the ancient Greeks had a concept of the underworld known as Hades, which was the realm of the dead, or a place of suffering and torment. In Mesoamerican mythology, it's associated with a similar concept. Psychologically, the underworld is associated with the unconscious mind, or the depths of the psyche, from which our fears and shadows emerge. And this is the place where the locusts emerge from. Darkness is now bursting free to challenge and bring chaos to civilization. And I really like the name they went with as well, the Locusts. In many ancient myths, locusts are seen as...
This is like... crazy... Not crazy. This is like Symbology 101. This is the most basic shit, and Gears of War is full of the most basic shit while treating it as if it's like revolutionary. It is like regular symbol. Like, it is Luke Skywalker wearing white, gray, and black with white on the inside level symbolism from the original trilogy. Like, it's not even that crazy. It was hard to take them seriously if they just called the worms. It's one thing, it's an enemy unit, but the whole faction would be goddamn stupid. Yeah. If they were like, oh, Worm Grenadier. No.
Symbol of fertility. But in the most influential narrative of Western civilization, the biblical story, they are famously associated with one of the 10 plagues in Egypt in the book of Exodus. And they've often been understood by Christian theologians as a sign of judgment and a punishment for sin. In fact, their own insatiable appetite and destructive behavior perfectly symbolize the nature of sin.
I mean, I think this does graft onto Gears, but again, this is like creative writing 101. This is not like some big, deep revelation that nobody has noticed before.
Just as locusts devour everything, so does sin consume all that is good. And finally, the serpentine appearance of the locusts in the game taps into the mythologies of chaos monsters, such as Tiamat from Mesopotamia, who emerges from the depths to bring chaos to the world. The physical degradation of the world of Serra also symbolizes the moral decay of a once great civilization, capable of building beautiful, transcendent, and holy architecture.
How is it? Hold on. How does it describe to moral decay? I'm like having to like scrape the ridges of my brain every time he says something. If it was like caused by something that was like moral, I could see what you mean by that. But it's like a literal war. Like you're doing a lot to like stretch the symbology here to make it fit perfectly. Yeah.
Architecture, which has enabled the locust horde to emerge from the underworld, much like a decadent society reaching its inevitable end. There's a bit early on in the game where you see this perfectly encapsulated.
He just called the locust uncultured. Oh man. If the game made that argument of some kind, like sure, I could almost see it being that. But it doesn't. It's not like we're talking about like Chaos Space Marines. They're just lizard people that are angry. That is literally the depth of the characterization the Locust get. They're lizard people and they want to kill humans because they're trapped underground and the things underground are trying to kill him. He's still going. By the time we're done talking, we're going to have Space Marine 25. I'm not pausing it as much as I normally did. This is only a 17-minute video. Normally we'd sit here and watch it for 3 hours. We're trying to get through it.
In a scene where a statue is destroyed as the
oh my god.
locusts emerge from underground, desecrating this holy architecture. And this theme of civilizational destruction, with cathedrals and temples everywhere in ruins, evokes a kind of battle between...
This is like he's definitely like one of the people who sits there, thinks forever, comes to a conclusion, and like because they've never listened to someone else talk and they haven't spent a lot of time developing ideas and thinking about ideas further or looking for examples of that idea, he's coming to very simple conclusions and then like reading it off as if it's like the most revelatory thing to ever exist in the history of the universe. This statue fell down, and it's a example of them desecrating this once beautiful city. It's like, brother, like you're doing like I know he would hate these kind of like the people who do like the slam poetry about racism, where they like say like, oh, cops shoot black people when they shouldn't. It's like, yes, I agree with you, but you're saying it in the most like annoying bullshit way possible that you're making me angry. And he's doing like the opposite of that, where he's like, Locust broke a statue and it's destroying the city. And it's like, yeah, no, yeah, that's what that is. But you're saying it as if it's some profound thing when it really isn't.
Between tradition and the invasion of the other. But just as society falls into complete disarray, so too does the age of chaos become the heroic age, as certain men are inspired to rise above the decadence and become heroes, fighting to defend their homeland, and in one particular case, seeking atonement for his past mistakes. Enter Marcus Phoenix.
Okay, we're really stretching the things that we're talking about now.
We take control of him 14 years after the first emergence of the Locust, and he's been in prison for the past 4 years of that conflict.
Okay, he got that
Marcus
right.
was a famous war hero, now turned criminal, convicted and imprisoned for leading a failed, unauthorized mission to rescue his father, Adam. Another interesting bit of symbolism. Even his family name, Phoenix, is the name...
Guys, he goes through a period of redemption, and his last name... You'll never fucking believe this. His last name is Phoenix. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's the most... Who the fuck has played Gears of War and didn't go, oh yeah, Phoenix, yeah, I get it. It's like having John Warfighter and going, you know what? He sure does fight in wars. Like, why is that? Why are we treating it like it's some profound thing? Like, yes, he goes through a redemption story. His last name is Phoenix. I'm just finding this very funny.
Name of a mythical bird reborn from the ashes.
Is that an AI video?
Symbol for
That's
hope
gross.
and renewal for the world of Serra among its ruined cathedrals and lost faith. Marcus's physical scars and emotional stoicism also harken back to Marcus Aurelius, the well-known philosopher and emperor who led Rome during devastating war.
I think I have that. Hold on. Emperor's Handbook. let's fact check him in real time. We have it right here. Marcus Aurelian, the Emperor's Handbook. Let me see my camera. I can't see if I'm getting that right. Marcus Aurelian. The flood and Halo are based on biblical floods levels of revelation. Yeah, like the flood is a thing that kills all life, and it's like, yeah, it's about that deep. It's not like some profound thing. Marcus Aurelius, I guess, like that is. It's getting somewhere along the lines. I feel a little bit dirty just holding this. Of being comparable. But. Oh, shit.
Wars with the barbarians. His writings emphasized resilience, duty, and acceptance of hardship as a moral imperative. Marcus Phoenix, too, will step up to lead the battle to save Serra from the otherness.
No, he explicitly doesn't step up. Like, he's kind of like, he has to because he's the protagonist, but he's very clearly not leading anything. At Gears of War 3, when the cog is falling apart, his girlfriend is leading everything. He just fucking does the work. He's just happy to be there and shoot shit. He's basically an orc, really, if you think about it.
Of the Locust Horde. Although Marcus is an anti-hero, he respects authority and hierarchy.
Oh, I don't think I have to explain why that's funny.
He addresses his lieutenant, Kim, as Sir. He is respectful and understands the chain of command, and eventually accepts his role as the leader. When he's summoned at the beginning of the game, he's dwelling in darkness, in a prison, considered a traitor. This is where he begins his redemption arc, as he embarks on his trial as a warrior. But Marcus Phoenix is no mere protagonist. He is the embodiment of the stoic warrior archetype. Figure whose strength lies not just in his muscles, but in his moral resolve. And
what moral resolve does Marcus demonstrate in all of Gears 1? Does he have a single hard choice to make in whatsoever throughout the entire game? What arc does he go through? He just goes, kills Locust, and then he's like redeemed in the eyes of Hoffman specifically at the end of it. It's like, what? Moral redemption. Okay, I'm happy to see what the explanation of this is.
And the supporting characters like Dom, Baird, and Cole are also archetypes made flesh. Dom represents loyalty and camaraderie, while Baird embodies the archetype of the reluctant hero. Their interaction...
I guess. Again, we're like back to creative writing 101 stuff. I don't want to just keep repeating it, but that's basically what this video is. It's like, did you know? Baird doesn't want to be here. It's like, yeah, that's pretty present in the character.
Actions are not just banter. They are a symbolic dialogue about duty, sacrifice, and brotherhood. Their relationship exemplifies how these bonds can sustain individuals and societies, even during the darkest time. Let's talk about...
Can you give us an example of how their dialogue is symbolic and saying that it's not banter? Because most of it is just banter or talking about the plot of the game. There's not a whole lot of dialogue outside of that.
About the combat. Now, one of Cliff Bleszinski's other rules during development was that the game was to be a slower paced game. Not a run and gun game, but a stop and pop game. The game would feature a crosshair, which would be activated by pulling down the left trigger on the controller, and would give you a limited peripheral vision. The player could run in the game, but when he did, the camera would wobble, and he couldn't shoot while running, which allowed for a design trade-off and enabled the player to make a choice between the two. And this helped create a distinctly unique feel to the combat. coupled with a variety of battle situations that take the player through narrow encounters in corridors,
He
all
almost
the
shot
way to
Carmine.
larger settings in derelict town squares, as wave after wave of locusts emerge from beneath. In some places, spawning in from one location.
He's not even getting the fish in a barrel achievement. Dude, that's like the first thing you do when you get to this fountain. You're supposed to get fish in a barrel. How he explains chainsawing, very weird. Wait, what? He's a weird take on chainsawing?
Situations where they pour in from all around you. In those situations, you really feel like you are engaging in a war, and the cover system means that you often literally have your back against the wall, and it constantly feels brutally fun. The combat system is visceral, punishing, and deeply satisfying.
This is the most engaging combat for a game I think I've ever seen. He's just shooting at them as they're coming up out of the ground. Playing on casual difficulty, by the way, by how quickly they die, but what exhilarating gameplay.
Dance of survival that taps into the player's primal instincts. The chainsaw in particular is of course horrific, but there's something ritualistic about it, like a bloody sacrifice. Sound design elevates the experience of the combat into the realm of the sublime. The roar of the lancer's chainsaw, the crunch of sand under boots, and the bone-rattling bass of explosions resonate and ground the player in a world where every action carries weight. The combat is not subverted or sanitized. It's rendered with raw, unflinching honesty.
I love the audio that's like the same audio level as it was when it's in the background. He really is just sort of like explaining. He's like reading like a ChatGPT style paragraph that like describes the game with a lot of like flowy poetic language, but doesn't actually have any substance to like behind it. He acts like characters' personalities are hidden. No, they're not. They straight up tell you who they are. You have to chill. Yeah. There is no subtlety. Literally, you have space cowboy, space Hawaiian, you have space football star, you have space family man. They are all entirely one note. You can consider most characters one note. Most don't even have an arc. The only character who has an arc throughout the games is Dom, maybe, and then the other characters don't really have an arc whatsoever. I don't even think their characters change. His politics aren't subtle. Nothing about his games are subtle. The symbolism is not. His last name is Phoenix. But we've got a video like this where the guy is acting as if it's some like divine revelation. It's like, oh my god, I've unlocked the secrets to the deep and hard to penetrate writing. It's like, no, dude. No, it's not that complex. Stop acting like it is. Cool. This is another note thing. What the fuck? Neon Edge. Do you happen seeing this at some point? Watch your video back after you're done editing it, and look at it and be like, this seems like it's a little quiet, or this transition seems like it's a little hard, or my text feels like it's Arial font, and it looks like I barely even tried, or I really don't know what I'm doing. It should tell you one of two things. A, it's a nice way to go through and make sure you've edited everything to your satisfaction. And B, if you feel like you can't resolve those things, you've got the internet. Plenty of people will tell you how to make good videos. There is no excuse in 2025 to be making bad videos outside of laziness. And I know I do it plenty of times. He doesn't realize at the end of the day, Gears of War is just a series you play as big buff dudes fighting big buff dudes. Like it's like Warhammer. I mean, that's it's not as comparable because I think Warhammer does, especially with all of the literary stuff it has behind it, does have a lot more going on in the world design and whatnot. But your discussion on there are more doors in this world has more Warhammer does have more stuff going on. Like that's what I made my whole like hour-long video about fascism and Warhammer about. Gears doesn't have necessarily a whole lot going on, but also it's not very subtle, and pretending like it is doing the game a disservice. Warhammer at least has it. I mean, it also doesn't have any subtlety, but depending on the story or like the Black Library book, it can have some interesting things to say. Maybe if you're talking about a game like Space Marine 2 or Bolt Gun, obviously that's a much different case, but Warhammer does at least have a lot more going on than Gears does. Return of the King, archetype or stereotype? I need you to define the word archetype and or stereotype for me. So I know what you're thinking.
18 years later, in 2025, it's
18... Wait, hold on. I'm so confused. 18 years later in 2025. It's been 19 years since Gears. Are we still going off the idea that Gears 1 came out in 2007? Is that where we're getting messed up here?
It's evident that the AAA games industry has shifted its priorities significantly. Developers are now focusing on creating more inclusive experiences that boost representation of marginalized communities and actively work to avoid stereotypes. This shift invites us to examine the modern gaming landscape and how it contrasts with this earlier approach to storytelling and character design. Now, 2019 was the last time Microsoft released a new Gears of War game in the form of
Gears Tactics was 2020, but yeah, let's go.
Gears 5. It explores themes of trauma and identity with a more introspective main character. Gears 5's developers consciously attempt to reimagine the story through a lens of inclusivity and modern...
Why are just random sentences? You just highlighted the word planned there. You can't see it because my camera's in the way. It is just... Here, let me move this shit. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. They just highlighted the word planned. It's not even saying any. Gears 5 was planned. What the fuck are you even trying to do with these highlights? What is like being said here? Kate Diaz is the first lead female character in Gears of War. Known for its hypermasculine characters, intended for a strong female lead. To replace Marcus, Rod Ferguson compared the story to Mad Max, supporting character, even though he ostensibly the eponymous lead character of the movie. Max is really there to support Furiosa's journey. Yeah, Mad Max does a great job at like having like Furiosa is like technically the main character, but Mad Max is like who we are led through. I can kind of see that with Gears 4, and then Gears 5 completely takes it. Change on a cultural level. Decided early on in the production, Gears 5, they want to have a female lead. The whole game story is written around Kate. Strong, well-rounded. According to the franchise narrative lead, well-rounded female character is someone who is authentic and has a full range of emotions. You're just highlighting every time they say decided. This is like crazy nitpicking of a Wikipedia article.
Values, but it risks diluting the archetypal power that made the original so resonant. One video game website had this to say about the Gears of War re-release. Gears of War Reloaded is a relic of the past. Now let's get the obvious out of the way.
Who the fuck gives a shit about Polygon? I'll be honest.
Gears of War is a hell of a good time. Its campaign is tight, clocking in at around 6 hours or so, and its 5 acts shepherd Marcus Phoenix and his squad mates from level to level, set piece to set piece. The Locusts are coming, and they ain't stopping. Perhaps most impressive in terms of Gears' gameplay is its cover system. It offers a range of fluid movement for Phoenix and isn't clunky. Unlike some other games of its time, the gunplay is top notch, with a solid variety of weapons available to Phoenix. Though I mainly stuck with the Lancer assault rifle, using the chainsaw bayonet on a Locust is as entertaining in 2025 as it was in 2006. So it's clear that the journalist enjoyed his time with the game. He goes on to say this: however, upon revisiting Gears of War, what stands out most is just how thin its story and characters are.
True. Use Warhammer as an example. It's easy comparison. I mean, yeah, if you simplify it to like the bare bones, they are, at least like the Space Marines or whatever, obviously it's like very similar. They tried to sue Gears at one point.
Beyond his of an era soul patch, there's not much to Marcus Phoenix. He starts by getting broken out of prison, and his trial is alluded to in a glance at your phone and you'll miss it moment, but his circumstances before the opening of Gears of War never matter much. He's out and now tasked with killing Locust, and dagnabbit, that's just what he's going to do. Phoenix and the rest of his squad are your stereotypical block-headed Marines with biceps larger than NFL footballs. They're all macho men, with a token woman, Anya, making an early appearance before being relegated to only appearing via audio, doling out instructions. Like Phoenix, there's not a lot to any of them beyond their gruff military personalities.
True. But guys, his last name is Phoenix, which symbolizes his arc of redemption. Who could have saw that coming? The fucking masterclass of storytelling.
And later he says, and sure, players can rightfully want to shut their brains off and shoot some alien monsters. Shooting aliens is great. It's why I wanted to play Gears again. However, remasters offer an excellent opportunity to revisit the past through a new lens and reflect.
He's like I can't. I'm like trying to like read the article as he's like speaking it aloud and follow along, but he's like skipping words and like paraphrasing as he's reading. It keeps throwing me off.
This piece of entertainment against the backdrop of its time. Later Gears of War installments provided more depth to the human versus Locust conflict at the heart of the series and made strides to be more inclusive, with its fifth entry starring its first female protagonist. Gears 5 stands in sharp contrast to the original Gears, which was wafer thin. And this journalist is not alone in being critical.
I mean, they're saying that it stands in contrast, not necessarily that it's better. Is that what you're getting out of that? I guess there's maybe an implication that because it's more developed, that it's better. I didn't hear about them try to sue the guys who made Gears of War. It's like an old thing. This is not like currently happening. I don't even know necessarily. It might have just been an urban legend that I always heard in Gears of War circles, but like supposedly Games Workshop tried to sue Microsoft or whatever for having a chainsaw in their weapon. And they were told, no, you don't have the right over chainsaws. But apparently that was a thing at one point. Yeah, the article is not saying that Gears 5 is a better game or it's better that it has a female protagonist. It literally just says these two games are wildly different compared to like the original that came out in 2006. It says nothing about the quality or like those attributes affecting the quality in that way.
Of Marcus Phoenix for being a, quote, block-headed marine with a soul patch and not much else. But let's dissect this through the lens of myth. Joseph Campbell said heroes aren't about detailed backstories. They're archetypes, vessels for universal truths. Marcus isn't Shakespeare, he's Hercules, Beowulf, or Gilgamesh.
Okay, but the thing you're missing there is that like Hercules, Beowulf, or Gilgamesh have stories, meanings, themes, and arcs behind them. You're also comparing a character written for a video game in 2006 to stories that literally invented storytelling. Like, of course, those stories are not super complex. They're like the first ones. You know, it's like that shit where it's like, dude, I would be a philosopher in Greece too if nobody else had thought, a circle is different from a square before, right? Like, it's that same level of bullshit, but we live in the modern age where we have like a greater level of literacy when it comes to our media and the stories that we can tell. And because we, as a society, for the most part, it's been getting worse, have been able to like feed off each other and like build these greater stories, we can then engage with more complex stories than even that, and get even more and more dissective of these ideas, and really kind of expand media to a way it had never been before. If you're fine with like your character being super simple, there's nothing wrong with that. Or if you want a character who's super simple, look at Doom Guy, right? Doom Guy is like one of these super simple, like Beowulf, Hercules type characters. There's nothing wrong with that, but that also doesn't mean that he's not a blockhead. Like, that's what Marcus is. Like, if your thing is that like you don't think he needs to be super complex, that's fine. But that doesn't negate the originality of, or like the original claim of him being like a stupid blockhead that doesn't have an arc, because that's true. If your bare qualification for a character being good is that they fit an archetype, buddy, you didn't even make it. Like, this is not even a like take a creative writing 101 class. This is like you didn't even sign up. You didn't even look at the pamphlet for creative writing 101.
Warrior stripped to his essence, fighting not just for survival, but for order itself. Notice how little we learn about him? That's intentional. His blankness...
That's not. It's intentional because the lore of Gears had not been set up yet. They didn't know what a lambent was in 2006. That's not intentional. The story is so obviously retconned about halfway through anyways, because the whole resonator thing just doesn't work, and then you move on to an entirely different plot line that has to do with Marcus and his dad and shit that was not set up whatsoever beforehand.
Lets us project humanity's collective unconscious onto him. Modern games like Gears 5 pad their narratives with character quirks and politically correct-driven protagonists, but that can dilute the...
Can you give me an example of these character quirks and politically correct protagonists? What does that mean? We have a politically correct protagonist. Oh, what? So what, they just don't say slurs? What do you mean by politically correct? This might surprise you, but like Expedition 33, that game I just nominated for Game of the Year, or voted to be Game of the Year, whatever, has a bunch of politically correct protagonists. Not only is that game fun, but that narrative is literally otherworldly. But it's politically correct? What does that even fucking mean? Give me an example. Support your argument with, like, evidence.
Myth. By contrast, remastered Gears clings to tradition. Though its cast is drawn from multicultural ethnic backgrounds, they are ultimately just a band of archetypal warriors bound by duty. A far cry from today's
so they're very
obsession
simple. Oh god. All of these characters fit archetypes. Your complaint is that you want characters that are not just archetypes, because every character is an archetype of some kind. That's what the term archetype means. But that they are trying to do deeper things. Like, sure, Veilguard is a bad game, Shadows is a bad game, because they're more focused on, like, corporate appeasement than actually being pieces of art. Ghosts of Yotei should not belong on here. That is a great game. Ghost of Yotei might be better than anything in Gears. Personally, I mean, I like Gears more, obviously, but Gears War 1 was made today, they would call it woke. They would. It has a black dude and a Mexican dude shoved into the main squad. Like, why do they need to be here? What? They would definitely call it woke if it came out today. Cliff himself said that if Gears of War came out today, they would call it woke. And he said that in, like, 2019. Or 2020-ish. So obviously, yeah, they would.
Representation over resonance. Now, the critics might call them stereotypical, but Jungian archetypes...
Archetypes are stereotypical, by definition. That's why it's an archetype. Or like the stereotype is derived from the archetype. The basic white dude who's angry and doesn't say a lot of words is like an archetype in video games, and it's been used so much that it has become a stereotype. Obviously, it is stereotypical. That's just how things work. You are just in denial of what reality is.
Are stereotypes by design. They're universal.
There you go.
Is the loyal comrade, Cole, the gruff everyman.
I like how Dom is like beloved from the audience because he's like put like on a level playing field, but he like reduces Dom to the loyal comrade. He's not equal with Marcus. He's not Marcus's brother in arms or his best friend. He's the loyal comrade. He's over there.
Icons of brotherhood, sacrifice, and resilience.
Can you give me an example of them representing brotherhood or sacrifice or resilience? Not even that I think it's wrong, but like, you can't just like say words and expect me to agree with them because you're saying words that sound like they're correct.
Anya's audio-only role isn't an oversight. It keeps her symbolic. She becomes like a voice from above, like Athena guiding Odysseus. Archetypes are finely tuned patterns that are not arbitrarily defined. They're universally recognizable, carrying profound symbolic weight with them. Deconstructing them can dilute or even negate their thematic power, leading to stories that struggle to convey...
No, I mean it can if you're a bad writer, sure. Then you look at like something like God of War, the newer games that do deconstruct the myth of Kratos, and he becomes a way better character by the end of it. And the story itself is great by the end.
meaningful messages. Archetypes tap into our collective unconscious, evoking strong emotional responses. Deconstructing them can result in stories that struggle to evoke similar emotions, leading to less resonant experiences. Symbolic depth cannot be rewritten without consequence. The remastered version preserves the timeless patterns, the hero's journey, the warrior's sacrifice, and the confrontation with shadow. It is a quiet act of faith in tradition, resisting the modern urge to deconstruct what has endured for millennia. So, Marcus Phoenix re-emerges at a time when the video game industry, like the world of Serra, has lost its way. A timely reminder of the power...
Lost its way? They got attacked by monsters. What do you mean, lost their way? It's not like they just, like, became super progressive or something, and that's what led to the downfall of their civilization.
...of tradition, archetypes, and symbols, how they resonate with us, and how...
Not that those things aren't important, but, like... God, this was like put together in such like a shitty way. Not the like, oh, you're using AI in thumbnails. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I don't care. Fuck that guy. Oh man, what a shallow, bullshit analysis of a game that has been talked to fucking death. Did you know the last name Phoenix symbolizes his redemption, like a phoenix from from a Greek myth? Whoa! It literally is like as subtle as a sledgehammer, but he's acting as if this is like some big profound thing that nobody has ever talked about in the history of gaming before. He's saying he'd rather have one-dimensional personalities over three-dimensional characters. Yeah, basically. Not even like 2D characters. He wants flat archetypes with like barely a personality and no arc whatsoever. I used to be those types of people calling anything I didn't like woke until I grew the fuck up. Criticizing something without just calling it woke is better. I mean, yeah, criticizing something without just like labeling it some like bullshit thing is always going to be better because it's hopefully rooted in like some actual criticisms and not just going woman bad, because that's always bullshit. I'm gonna pull up a video, probably the dispatch video, real quick, for you people to watch. I need to go use the restroom, so I'm gonna pull this up to keep everyone entertained until I return. Where is this? Two-dimensional isn't bad by itself. No, being like even a one-dimensional character is not bad, but saying that like I don't want a character that's complex. I just want stupid, dumb blockhead man to do stupid, dumb shoot locust things. Okay, I'll be right back. Fuck, it's not... Hold on, I don't have a video in here. What do I have? Dispatch. Here, you guys watch this video. That's how you do it? I make a lot of hot takes about the world of writing. Some I stand by, some I was probably a bit quick to jump the gun on, but for the most part when it comes to how I engage with and judge stories, I focus on two things: what the story is trying to be, and how good it is at accomplishing that same goal. Titanfall 2 is a bang-buck standard sci-fi adventure. It's got a Death Star and even a fake-out sacrifice and death for a non-human character. But the game isn't selling itself as some fantastic space opera. It's a momentum shooter with big robots. The part of the game that matters is the movement made possible through interesting and unique level design, and big robots, which are always fun to throw around. If Titanfall was trying to tell me that it had a story on par with Game of Thrones, I would judge it a lot more harshly. But it isn't, so it's good at what it does, what it's trying to do. So when Dispatch sells me on being a narrative-focused, choose-your-own-adventure story game about a superhero agency, effectively an evolution of the TV show with choices Telltale Games on modern hardware, I expect that it has a story with some more substance. By the way, if it wasn't clear off rip, I'm going to be getting into spoilers about Dispatch, so be warned.
I'm not that good of a kisser.
I was expecting more substance to the plot than bad guy is bad because he wants to take over the world. But the truth is that Dispatch doesn't really have an antagonist. Shroud is not really a villain. He appears in a total of 3 scenes across 8 or 9 hours, and only has a relationship to the protagonist Robert from a backstory that begins 15 years before the main game and is never really shown to us. Not that there isn't a villain, but rather than being this truly evil presence, Shroud is just sort of Saturday morninged. Not to mention, the script does one of my least favorite things with the villain. He can predict the future.
And by my calculations, it was closer to 32%.
So anything that looks like clumsy writing or is trying to manipulate you into feeling certain ways isn't the script being a mess. This guy can just predict everything that was going to happen and had a double agent the whole time.
You fall for... what is it you call her? Invisigal.
This is bullshit.
What the fuck is this, Robert?
It's lazy, it's boring, and I hate the Palpatine archetype every single time I see it, because it's a cheap way to write a smart character without actually making them smart. So whatever then, if the focus isn't really on the traditional bad guy vibe, what is it? Well, it's in the team, specifically the Z team. We even get a whole monologue from Robert about how the Z team is about redemption and helping these former villains become better and evolve into better people. So, change would be the major theme. How does the game go at selling that side of it? Most of the team, well, they just don't get a lot to go on. Most are kind of dicks, but they're trying. And by the end of the game, most of them are still kind of dickish, but still trying. A good example of this is Flambe, the showboat Afghan Human Torch. The first time we see him, he's being a dick, trying to kick Mecha Man out of a hero bar, because as a member of the Z team, Flambe has decided that he gets to be a hero without actually proving it. We continue to see through the next few episodes how he retains this idea, where he's reliant on the label without actually changing. He goes off script during the Dispatch minigame and burns down a neighborhood. He rags on Robert and tries to kill him after learning their leader is Mecha Man, who initially stopped Flambe when he was a villain. And in the end, he's still a total dick without any understanding. He even tells Robert he will continue to be a dick.
I might have to do that once a month or so, as a release of my hatred for you.
There's no acknowledgement of change, there's no revelation or evolution in his character. He's a dickish guy who claims to be heroic because he fights on the side of the good guys. But that's not how the game sees it. The game paints the entirety of Z-Team as proper, if not simply underdogs, heroes of Los Angeles, regardless of how they've behaved. And he's one of the characters who actually does get a lot of time on screen. Others like Sonar, Punch-Up, Golem, and Malevola are just kind of around. They have strong personalities, but nothing to do in the story itself. For a game which is hardly a video game in the traditional sense and needs the narrative to carry it, it's doing a very bad job at orchestrating a big ensemble cast. Instead, it makes all the rest of the Z-Team feel like they're fitting up space in the background. Made even worse by choices like the one between Sonar and Coop, which relegate either hero to being a background actor where you can easily spot places that either one is easily meant to replace the other. So then what about our actual cast of mainline heroes? Blazer, Invisigal, Robert Robertson, and Chase. Well, Blazer doesn't really have an arc. She's your idealistic, classic Superman-type hero, perhaps a little more crude.
What do you mean? Like different colored dicks?
But her entire plotline revolves around running the SDN, but also not. Most of her scenes are a weird HR violation where she's clearly trying to come onto Robert, and you have the choice of either denying the advances from your new boss or playing into them so you can learn her secret identity. Does it have any bearing on the greater story? Kinda. We'll get into that later, but for the most part, she's absent from the main plot of the Z-Team anyways. There's this inference the script makes of Blazer and Invisigal having history, but that's just not true.
I think Vizzy's rubbing off on me. Even if she was on the bottom, I'm not sure I'd have let you cut her.
It's a plotline that goes nowhere, so the script can justify not cutting her in the 3rd episode, even though she's plainly and obviously the worst of the team.
Ah! Feel bad. Good.
Fuck you!
Invisigal's entire backstory, besides being readable, is charming at first and actually one of the strongest the story has. The biggest problem with her is that it's so clearly orchestrated to be the A-plot of the game. As a story, it's fine. As a make choices that dramatically affect the plot type of game, it's awful for this. Especially if you choose to go down the Blazer path and end up getting shucked with Invisigal the entire game anyways, because the narrative is so focused on Robert and Courtney's relationship. And yes, I'm probably putting too much stock into the choices of the game. This has been known in all of Telltale's older games forever. There's not much of a choice of what you get to do, and more so just the choice of whether you hype Invisigal up and she embraces heroism, or rejects it and goes full-on villainy at the very, very end of the game.
Look at you.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, yeah, look at me. No, look out.
With Chase, his main arc is built around seeing these villains as more than just their past, trusting them to be the heroes they signed up to be. Then, in the world's most obvious setup, he sacrifices himself for the worst of the bunch. It's cliche, it's predictable, but hell, the presentation is great, and Jeffrey Wright does a fantastic job, so it does a good thing of being coherent and solid, even if I think it's being kind of vanilla.
Outside?
Windy up here tonight, huh?
Why are we outside?
No telling where you'll land.
Smells like outside smells. Wait!
I have neighbors.
Robert himself, you would think, would be the most flexible of the characters, seeing that we control his every move. But honestly, I don't think he changes much at all. He begins as an overconfident but vengeful kid trying to live up to the status of the mecha men before him and avenge his father.
Oh, Shroud kills your father, goes to jail 15 years, breaks out, and immediately dupes you into a trap where he destroys the Mecha Man suit and puts you in a coma for months.
Fails, then while recovering and rebuilding his suit, he gets to help the Z-Team be heroes. But he doesn't have a connection to any of them besides Invisigal. They end up respecting him because he's a heroic character who is helping people even when he realistically shouldn't be or is doing so foolishly, but how that effect washes onto the team is almost negligible. By the end of the game, he's still trying to live up to his dad's shoes and avenge Robert II. There's no lesson for Robert. He's got the right answer all the time.
You make your own destiny.
Where'd you get that? Kung Fu Panda?
Liking.
Boomer.
I'd say his role in the story is to be the crux that everyone else changes on, which is the most accurate read of him, but it makes it very hard to get invested in Robert himself when he does everything perfectly, gets his suit back, and can even get his revenge without any repercussions. There's no moral agency nor relationship consequences that come from this, even though Chase made a big deal of it just a few episodes ago. Most of your choices boil down to flavor, which at that point, I'd almost prefer to just get an animated show that had the ability to commit onto character choices and spend more time with someone other than Robert, so we can see how these people feel about things going on that isn't under the guise of Robert is trying to get them to become a team. Because staging the story or narrative as a choice that ends up pretty much the same at the end takes away all the agency of the player. Let's compare this to an actual choice-driven game, Baldur's Gate. Now, Baldur's Gate 3 lets you do some whack shit, and of course we're already on shaky terrain because I'm comparing an in-depth RPG with millions of lines of dialogue to an animated movie with button prompts. But the comparison here is execution, not design. See, in Baldur's Gate, the team at Larian, at least most of the time, commits to full flexibility. Any number of odd characters can live or die throughout the narrative. All have different strengths they add to it, and perhaps killing every member of your party isn't the best way to go for it from a narrative perspective, but it gives us the most agency. If Baldur's Gate is on one end of the agency spectrum and a scripted, specific story like God of War is on the other, where you get no choice in the narrative whatsoever, Dispatch is somewhere in the middle, but way closer to God of War's side, where you aren't exactly given much choice as much as you are given the ability to choose flavor. Think of a game like Red Dead Redemption. Sure, at times you can choose to ask Dutch what he thinks of John Marston versus Charles. At the end of the day, he's still gonna turn selfish and evil regardless. That same thing applies in Dispatch. You're still going to end up on that rooftop, standing 10 feet apart from Shroud with 2 pulses in hand, staring down at Beef. Chase will be alive, sonar and or Coop will still be added in at the end of every fight sequence. The only real change you see is whether Invisigal goes bad or takes a bullet for you at the very end. There's no stakes, no moral dilemma, nor a message or ideas being played with. If anything, the messages the story is trying to give you come entirely from your interpretations and the choices you yourself make as a player, but that's not really fleshed out at all. You can't play with redemption as a theme in a choice-based game when the choices really don't matter until the final 5 minutes. When only one character actually gets to be redeemed and everyone else just sort of auto-passes. That's just how it ends up feeling cheap and lazy. Huh? Alright, I'm back. Sorry to take so long. Like a solid 12-minute break. Well, we're back. We're going to go through, X made a video about Call of Duty 2 as a Xbox 360 launch title. We're going to go through this. It'll be a much better video than that Gears video. I've already tried to block it from my memory. We're going to go through this, and then we have Gears Reloaded after that. But let's look into the Xbox 360 title that took the world by storm. Something, something, Call of Duty, something, something. Let's go.
And it's time for the big boy, Call of Duty 2.
Hell yeah. That shit's loud. I did play Call of Duty 2 on, I guess, the 360. And I remember I had played it after Modern Warfare and after like Black Ops and Black Ops 2. And I remember playing it and being like, it's weird how much slower everything is. And it was like the first time I had like played a game previously in a series. And I was like, oh, this is worse. Soundtrack's great though.
I know Call of Duty, you know Call of Duty, everybody and their boomer grandparents knows Call of Duty.
Playing Nintendo is not a job. Playing Call of Duty is not a job.
The series got its start as a PC exclusive World War II shooter in 2003.
I want that clip from Jack Thompson where he says that a $60 Call of Duty game is enough to train your child to be just as good as the US military.
The developers of EA's Medal of Honor Allied Assault left the company in 2002 and founded the legendary Infinity Ward to develop a project using a modified version of the id Tech 3 engine. Internally referred to as Medal of Honor Killer, Call of Duty released in October of 2000. Published by Activision, the game was a critical and commercial success, selling almost 800,000 copies in its first 2 years. The sequel was announced for the PC, and the series made its console debut in November of 2005, alongside the release of the Xbox 360. A spin-off called Big Red One was also made for the PlayStation 2, original Xbox, and the GameCube. Call of Duty 2 on the Xbox 360 sold a fuck ton of copies immediately on release. 250,000 copies were sold in the first week, and it went on to sell about 7 million copies
for 2005.
According to the NPD research group, 3 out of every 4 people that bought an Xbox 360 in the first year also bought Call of Duty 2. That fourth person...
I'm saying 1/4 of Americans are retards. Let's take a test sample. There's 4 of us. You're a retard. That's 1/4.
If you weren't playing Madden, being disappointed by Perfect Dark Zero, or suffering through the headache-inducing Quake 4, you were playing Call of Duty 2. Built on a budget of about $15 million by a studio of roughly 75 devs, numbers
that shit's crazy to me, how it's like $15 million and like 70 devs, and it looks like that, versus like Expedition 33 was made by half as many people. Like, you'll see a lot more in credits and stuff because it's, you know, there's people who rent out studio space and like a lot of like extra legal stuff, whatever. But like actual developers on the team was like around 30. That there was like twice as many people with a massive budget. Expedition Part 3 probably cost a lot more in the end. But also, like, the fact that, like, $15 the numbers now compared to Call of Duty, I wonder if you looked up whenever the last Black Ops 6, how many people, there's like, what, 2,000 something employees at Activision? That's like across all their different branches and HR and whatever else added on to it. But like, I can't imagine it's more than like 200 to 300 devs working on Call of Duty currently. And even still, they have like a hard time getting shit to work for outrageous amounts of money. It is interesting to see that initial number out there.
Wouldn't even come close to being called AAA in 2025. The game grabbed everyone's attention as a true next-gen experience. The Xbox 360 version might not have looked as good as its PC counterpart, but this looked incredible compared to the other World War II shooters of the time, like Medal of Honor and Brothers in Arms. With tight combat, a snappy ADS system.
Is that a fucking adaptation of the HBO Brother in Arms show? That's weird because I could recognize that fucking guy off the digitized face.
Fast time to kill, punchy sound effects, gunplay, and movement, the game quickly took off with players on the Xbox 360. Even though it's missing some of the quality of life features that we've come to expect in the years following, it laid the foundations for what would follow in the entries later in the series. Things like grenade indicators to show where enemy grenades are in your vicinity, but you can't throw them back like you can in later entries. There's no perks, no customizations, and this was the introduction of regenerative health and smearing ketchup on your screen while your character pants like a dog on a hot day.
But it's legendary now.
2025 is like riding a bike. It all just comes right back to you. Except there's no ability to sprint. Throughout my whole playthrough, I kept instinctively mashing the left stick to no avail. Old habits just die hard.
I do remember that because there's a specific mission, I think in the campaign, where you're like in Germany. It might be that same Normandy mission where like I was going back and forth between some things and like shooting the random German NPCs, and I was like getting annoyed that the game felt so slow compared to like Modern Warfare and Black Ops 2 and whatnot. Oh yeah, shoot some Nazis. Love to see it.
For the story mode, you'll play 3 different campaigns. Starting with the Soviets, you'll assume the role of Private Kozlov in the defense of Mother Russia from the Nazi advances into Stalingrad. Then you'll take control of a British Armored Division Sergeant John Davis during a campaign in Northern Africa against Rommel's forces. And finally, you'll join America's 2nd Ranger Battalion during the D-Day assault as Corporal Bill Taylor. And of course, there are some really epic moments that only Call of Duty could pull off, and I'll just touch on a few of those that stood out to me. As the Russians, you'll be sneaking through the pipelines at the railroad station as bombers fly overhead, getting the drop on unsuspecting Germans as you rain death from above, and fearing for your life as the bullets come flying through the sides of the pipelines.
Damn.
During the British campaign, you actually get to command a tank across the battlefield, wiping out enemy tanks and weapon installations. What's really cool is you actually get to control the tank and drive around too, which is not something you see in later Call of Duties. You'll also rendezvous with Captain Price on several missions. And yes, you heard me right. Canonically, this is the grandfather.
I didn't know that. Captain Price is just a Call of Duty OC. Whose grandfather fought on Normandy.
Of the famous Captain Price from the Modern Warfare games. And as the Americans,
the fact that they're both captains.
D-Day assault, complete with a shell shock moment as you helplessly watch the chaos.
Yeah, that shit's brutal, man. I like how it's got a compass, too.
And in a later stage, the Rangers put their lives on the line to swarm up Hill 400, directly into enemy fire, through minefields, barbed wire, and mortars to take down the German artillery shelling Bergstein. Unlike the later entries in the series, it's just pure historical immersion. There's no dramatized characters, no moments meant to shock you, there's no nukes blowing you up, there's no Makarov shooting up an airport, no General Shepard betraying Task Force 141 and killing Ghost and Roach, no fun with numbers.
But numbers, Mason, what do they mean?
But the multiplayer was really where everyone was at. Xbox Live had seen its subscriber count double from 2 million in July of 2005 to 4 million in late 2006. Halo 2 fueled the growth before the 360, but Call of Duty 2's 1.4 million copies sold between November.
But Gears of War. His last name is Phoenix. Stop shitting at it now. I've already forgotten what that creator's name was.
And July helped it to explode after the
commenter.
It introduced matchmaking with a party and lobby system, and this was the introduction of True Skill, an early version of every streamer's worst nightmare: skill-based matchmaking.
Damn.
Even though it only
Jesus
supported
Christ.
8 players total,
I hate that video so much.
Compared to the 64 players available on PC, it was still a tremendous success that was enjoyed by many.
Master Chief is John from the Bible.
Blueprint for the console FPS juggernaut that Call of Duty would eventually become. With a single entry, it made competitors feel outdated, obsolete, and janky. The multiplayer numbers and the insane ratio of people that bought an Xbox 360 and Call of Duty 2 proved just how central it was to the early success of the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I think people forget that like Call of Duty is as big as it is now because it was that motherfucker for a long time. Even like when they started to fall off a little bit and like they had titles like Call of Duty Ghosts or Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare and stuff that people like generally disliked more often than not, those games are still like decent games. It's not until like very recently, like in the last 5 games, since Vanguard really, that they've just been doing like absolute bullshit. Maybe the first Modern Warfare, like the first Modern Warfare remake that they did, is where it gets really bad, but that one's not that bad. And even like number 2 wasn't that awful. And then it gets dramatically worse from there out.
Even today, the mechanics feel timeless and it's a great experience. It's just a well-built game that also holds up technically, which can't be said about some of the other Xbox 360 launch titles. It's just wild to me that this released at the same time as Cameo, Quake 4, and
It looks a lot better than I was
Zero.
expecting it to.
There's no doubt about it. Call of Duty 2 is the king of the Xbox 360 launch titles.
I like how the crates and the boats just have massive swastikas on the side of them, so you know this is the Nazi boat. Because otherwise, you know, how else were we supposed to tell they belong to the enemies? Short is sweet. I feel like there's not that much you could say about Call of Duty 2.
But it's already been 20 years since the launch of the Xbox 360, all the way back in November of 2005. So I decided to revisit all of the titles available at the launch of the Xbox 360, and because there are 17 games to play and revisit, I enlisted the help of my buddy Gloom is Dead. He makes incredibly thoughtful and introspective reviews of games from the golden era. If you want to see more, you can find a link to our playlist covering all 17 games in the pinned comment below.
Huh. I don't know why 17 like launch titles feels so low. I guess like it's 17 titles that come out with like alongside the launch of the game itself. Okay, we can get rid of this. Window capture. But yeah. It was nice. Yeah, I know. I've got debate board up on my YouTube recommendations. We're going to transfer from whatever this was. Always like ISIS stuff. I probably should have linked that. Hold on. We're gonna switch over to Gears of War Reloaded. It's got like a decent viewer. It's got a decent viewer base on Twitch for some reason. Don't play. Fucking not what I'm doing. God. I'm gonna put this in the chat for people to go. Obviously, see ISIS videos. Give them some love. It's good, short, fun videos. I'm excited to see what his like total wrap up for all of the launch titles is going to be next year. But we're gonna get into Reloaded. We're already approaching like the 2-hour mark, so this is kind of just gonna be like until I'm getting tired of it. But we're gonna hop in to some Gears of War Reloaded versus like specifically the multiplayer, and just have a fun time with it. That's about it. There's no other plans for the rest of the stream. I'm just here to play a game that the Discord voted for and have a decent time with it. Try to, at least. I've been playing this game a little bit on my own so that I could say I've been playing Reloaded. And I don't like it that much. But we'll get into this and try to enjoy it. Oh, come on. This is me. Cliff made the same connection with the name Phoenix long before that idiot did. I mean, it is like textbook. It is like, there is no reason to name him Phoenix other than he's, you know, on a redemption path. It's not like it's like Sarah being Ares backwards. It's war, so it's the god of war, but backwards. It's like, okay, we get it. It's not as profound as it's like they're like saying it is. One of this, we're gonna just do team deathmatch and maybe move down and like try out all the different modes and stuff. I've only really played a lot of TDM and King of the Hill in this game. I don't know if we could find matchmaking for the other modes. Possibly, maybe not. We will find out. Here we go. Oh, we don't even have enough people for a lobby. That sucks. It's okay. We'll get there eventually. I got the Savage Cantus. Look at that. For Cliff, it's because he was going through a divorce at the time, so he made that Phoenix connection due to it. I mean, I guess. That feels like a stretch. I don't know. Cliff is like, I feel like a lot of his stuff is like taken way out of context and it's like removed from like the deeper thinking. And maybe that's like my biggest issue with him is that like I've never like heard his thoughts properly. I would have to like sit down and have a conversation with him to get like a better idea of how he like operates. But I don't know how effective a interview would be 20 years after the fact, you know? Oh, nice. A 4v3? Love it. Got the worst map in Gears of War history? Love it. You know what? I just love it. I absolutely... Oh, that's amazing. That's fantastic. A lot of other YouTubers and streamers have already interviewed him. Well, yeah. He's attached to one of the most like popular Xbox games of all time. Of course, there's a lot of him out there. Why not? Oh, I'm arguing in the opposite, that there's too much of him out there. That it's not really necessarily purposeful. Who knows, maybe if I hit him up on Twitter, I'll get an answer. Pork bow. I do kind of like a lot of the asymmetrical map design from like Gears 1. There's a lot of like unique stuff going on in these maps that just doesn't exist later. Gotcha, bitch. It tells me when you pick up the gun, dude. Like, why did you think that would work? Where is he? Gotcha. Oh! Fuck! I thought I had gotten his friend. I didn't realize it was the other guy that he rolled into that he got killed. Sucks for that other guy that was just sort of standing there. Aw, poor Carmine. Sorry. Oh, I thought I saw a flash of blue and I was concerned. Hello? Fuck. He's sneaking up on me, man. His Twitter presence. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but I am familiar. Tertiarily. Torque's flap thing's supposed to be blades? Yeah. It's like an inverted crossbow that doubles as having blades. But it does have... I don't know if this is true in Gears 1, but in Gears 2 and 3, it does do extra melee damage in the same way the Retro Lancer does. Waste all of your explosive ammo, please. Fuck. He learned how to throw the grenade over the top of the cover. And then that other guy killed himself with the boom shot. That's kind of hilarious. How are we doing just as bad as them? Guys. Why do you suck so much at this game? Bitch! Okay, just steal my kill, guys. Who the fuck are you shooting at? Are we just shooting at our own teammates? What the fuck is going on, guys? We're just shooting at ourselves. That's why we're fucking on. These guys aren't even that good. Ah, that was a bad throw. It's okay, let them push. Let them feel cocky. Well, that's not what I wanted. Damn it. What? I hate the Nasher in this. Why the Cantus look so different from the Theron or the drones? Based on like old B-Chaps theory, it would make sense with like the new canon in Gears 5. It makes no fucking sense at all. I need somebody on this team to like get a kill, preferably. There's a Dizzy on their team? Whoa! Damn, they are dominating down there. I see you. He sees me. What? Oh, there's two of them. I don't know how that didn't get him. Never mind, I hate this game. I take it back. It's bullshit. It's broken and it's trash. It's built off a game from 2006 that does not hold up. And that's really all there is to say about it. They just got boomed for free. Damn it! I got two of them. Wonder if the Locusts have a caste system? Maybe. I would assume so, between like the drones and Therons and shit. Where you have like the boomers. Like they kind of like are forced to. Why are you just running at them? Oh my god. Killer. Killer. Nice, nice. Get him. Run him down. Why are we nashering him? Take out your fucking Lancer, dude. Fuck you. Don't get me, don't get me, don't get me! Okay, I was about to fucking... No! Damn it! I didn't know he was right behind me. That was so winnable. It was so winnable. I was so focused on the guy if he would go down or not, because the boom shot is so fucking unreliable. And there's like a lag to it. I thought he would straight up survive that. That sucks. That sucks. Bad team. Bad team. 10 for 7? I had like great, but I went positive. Damn. 2 for 9, 1 for 7? See, that's why we lost. Oh, yeah. God, it takes forever to level up in this game. I keep seeing people post like getting like the seriously achievement, and I don't know how you could do it. I just have never had that much fun with this game. Like, I can have a good time with it, but like, that guy's re-up level 84. How do you play this game for that long? Hold on. We're going to do something radical here. We're going to move these up a bit. Whoa. Okay. Okay, wait. There we go. Just so it's not so abrasive on the entire screen. I thought that might be better. Oh, it's this map. Why are you just leaving nades out for fucking grabs, guys? We need to win. Don't just run at them with your Nasher. Nice. I can't tell if like there's something going on or if there's something in the fucking water, because I feel like people are not playing this game with their like thinking glands turned on. Where's everybody? Are we all hanging out in spawn? Damn it. Dude, weapon, like, locations and shit in this game are... they make no sense. Damn. Getting dominated by Cantus. That sucks. Damn it. We're just hanging out in spawn. Did we already? What the fuck? This match is so weird. I hate this map is odd as well. It's weird, like the map design versus like a game in... You're never gonna see a map like this in Gears 4, Gears E-Day, any of the more modern games. Come here, come on! No! I didn't even see it. Someone I know joked a theory that Queen's back in Gears 2. Hold on. What? What? What even happened? How did we... I thought we were way ahead. I was not paying attention to that. What the fuck? Someone I know joked a theory that the thing on the Queen's back might be controlling Mira and is actually the leader. Oh. I think it's a boring theory. I think it's much more interesting as like a what the fuck is that? Like it's just a dress but it looks odd. Dude, they get double frags and double long shots for spawning at the bottom? This game's bullshit, man. Dude, that's 4 frag grenades you have to deal with. This map is bullshit. Oh, do we only have 10 lives? Okay, maybe that's why. I was thinking it was 15, like in Gears 3. I scared him off. Why are you trying to shoot him with an Asher from 50 feet away? It's just not gonna work. You're gonna walk into the frags, dude. Dude, that frag presence is brutal. It's so hard to push because they have so many fucking grenades. This is the perfection that they were talking about Cliffy B making, you know? It's fucking... This is the perfect game design that lives on 20 years. Okay. We haven't killed a single one of them this game, by the way. This is all just raw skill. Where's the Grenadier? Is he AFK? I got a kill! One kill! At the very end. That sucked so much. That map is fucking bullshit. I did not know that all of the snipers and grenades were exclusively at the bottom. That is crazy. What awful map design. Holy shit. That is wild. It works in the campaign when you're fighting bots and shit, but playing like a versus match that's like supposed to be somewhat on equal footing, that was fucking torturous, dude. That was crazy. I'm going to go back to the Savage Cantus. I'm taking advantage of the the issues that people are going to have with the, what do you call it, hitbox. It was an issue in Gears 4. It's definitely an issue in this game. Let's go with Chevron. I like that. We got PlayStation versus Xbox, buddies. We got to represent. We've done a very bad job of it so far, but, you know, maybe this will turn it around. At least these matches are quick. Dude, you re-upped? I knew that's bad. Damn. We're going to try and focus Boom. Securing that shit. You're not killing? Okay. Let's hit 2 frags on that one guy. Sure. At least it worked. We're going up to hill. Dude, Boomshot's fucking useless. I hate it so much in this game. You hit somebody like in the feet and it doesn't kill them. Aim. Come on, Carmine. Peek. Peek it. Just doming the Dizzy. Time and time again. Did you try and chainsaw him, you moron? Somebody go for Boomshot. Got him. He didn't go for Boomshot, but you know, I got him. It counts. Damn. Somewhere in there. Got him! Oh, I love the long shot. In this game, it can be a bit like you gotta aim ahead. But when it hits, it just fucking hits, dude. God. That pop. You gotta grant it to him. That pop has been satisfying for 20 years. Damn, I missed. Flunked it. Dude. You wanna try it again? Fuck you, dude. Oh my god! Cooked! Fucking cooked them. 6-0, all headshots. That was dirty. Maybe I should stop going for the bitchless fucking virgin boom shot and go for the fucking long shot. They made Mira human because they liked cat reel. Get fucked, dude. Okay, I thought that was thrown at me. Nice. Nice. Bitch. There's like a certain like skill when it comes to Gears headshots where you like learn how to land the head specifically. That sucks. Ah, no, I missed by a hair. Come here. Is that our? Yeah, it's our guy. Damn it. I'm hitting him body shots at least. How is this not reset spawn yet, dude? They are right there. That sucks. Spawns in this game, just the worst. Dude, somebody get him up. Nope. There's our first death. I still got 6 more bullets. I need 5. Damn. Is that our own guys just fucking running around? The loudest motherfuckers I've ever heard on the planet. Oh, finally spawn swapped once they run out of respawns. That's kind of funny. Dude, what the fuck is that? Are you telling me that, like, boom shot adjacent to him didn't kill him? Got him on the come up. Is he over here? Did I hear those footsteps right? Yeah, I did. No! My kill record! Damn. That sucks. If you're gonna have anyone be seen as defending moral virtues, it's Adam Phoenix. I mean, yeah, Adam is like a more heroic character than Marcus is from like a moral standpoint. 9-0. Ooh, I feel bad about that. Dude, the fact that like once you get the upper hand with the way that spawns are set up and like power weapons are set up in this game, it just becomes like a fucking landslide. It's amazing. Mansion. Okay, now we're back to bad maps. To be fair, like that was super winnable for them. The fact that like spawns didn't swap until they were out of respawns. They bullying you guys. The fact that spawns didn't swap until they were out of respawns fucking sucked. Like if I was on that team, I would stop playing. I would be done. Adam refused to kill a pedophile at Azura because he hasn't improved through violence, or isn't impressed through violence. Yeah, Adam is like, he cares about human life, or like life in general. He's kind of like that pacifist bullshit, even though he made like the most destructive weapon of all mankind. He's like supposed to be Oppenheimer, but like more likable. You don't want me to get the long shot, buddy. It's happening. Whoa! No, I got two-pieced! No! How did he get all the way around there? What the fuck? How did he get on the right side of the stairs? I was not expecting that. He bamboozled me. Damn it. I should have been prepared for that. I need to go courtyard, it'll be more fair. What the fuck? Oh, hi. I walked right into it. The one time Boomshot wants to kill. Damn. The footsteps are like incredibly loud and also basically silent at the same time. It's wild. This is what I get for gloating that much in the last round. Got him. Was that a four-piece? God damn. Damn it. I thought I could do it again. I could not. You got this, Tiger. You got this. You haven't gotten a single kill all match, but trust me, you can win this 3v1. Don't reveal yourself by throwing a bad smoke. Masturbate. He's jerking it up at the top of the stairs. Not even like, at least pick up the long shot or something if you're just gonna sit up there. Are you just gonna like sit in the corner and like wait it out or something? They got boom. You're fucked. If that guy sees you, end of round, they win. GG's. They're gonna be coming up on you, bro. Yep. Yeah, that was that. Sucks for him. Damn. Not a lot of people like Adam Phoenix, Prescott Hoffman, Neville, Louise. I feel like a lot of people like Adam. Maybe he's just like not around often. Easy? Don't say easy. You guys were also out of respawns. Last match we didn't die. I think that's the Baird. Fuck you. Nice. Does this really connect right here? Oh yeah. I am realizing long shot's kind of useless on this map as much as it is on... As much as it's helpful on Gridlock, this map doesn't really get a lot of use out of it. Not a lot of long sight lines. Fuck! God damn it. I thought they wouldn't see me. What the fuck? How come that doesn't set off spawn swap, dude? Where the fuck is everybody? I can hear lots of gunfire and not see... Fuck! Damn it. Going 6 for 6, that's not great. Why aren't we just leaving Boom out and unclaimed? See? How does that not fucking kill somebody? You gotta like hit them dead on with the fucking rocket launcher to get a kill out of them. Okay, so they got Baird and Dizzy. Well, there's Dizzy. Gotcha, bitch! Don't walk into the grenades, please. Dear God. Ooh. Now, where is he? I assume he's inside, hiding on like a corner or something. Damn it, no, he's taking people out. It's like John Wick. Got him! Oh my god. That should not be as tense as it was. I should have just ADS'd. Man. I hope we can win this, because I want this to be the last one. I had the first time player on my team. It was the only other one alive too, so if I died there, it was probably GG's. Whoa. Fuck you, dude. Did he not see that coming? I guess he wasn't paying attention to the ADS. I got one of them. Fuck you, Carmine. What the fuck? How come I can never hear him walking up behind me until he's right there? It's like the audio doesn't work when they're on stairs. We got Boom again. Look, that's an easy 2 kills, and then we just got to kill them to finish them off. Should be. Sorry, Carmine. Bad positioning. Fuck! That was also bad. Get him. Get him. Realizing respawning takes fucking forever. Oh. Hi, baby. We're gonna go no camera. If you're asking me at Samus, I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to finish this match. Hi. Oh. We have a visitor who cannot be on camera, so this is going to be the last one for stream anyways, because this one needs to go to bed. Come on, Kai, you get this. Oh, I thought he was gonna get a kill, whoever that is, Queen, and it was not. 1 for 10. That's rough. Who do we have? Aguado? Okay, he's good. And Tigers. He's got Boom. Does he have ammo in Boom or just Boom? He's got ammo. But he's using it kind of stupidly. Samus would easily beat Master Chief. Cannon can shoot Ice Beam. They could freeze. They also shoot black holes. That's really interesting. We can get rid of that. Come on. I need somebody to end this fucking match. Nice Boom ammo. You got Boom ammo and a grenade. If you can't win this, you deserve to lose. You fucking deserve to lose. He is silent though. That's what didn't I say that? Motherfucker moves like a mouse. Oh, Tigers. This is not... The 2-piece failed. The legendary 2-piece. It didn't work. Okay, but he's just going to run into Lancer Fire and get killed, so... Maybe not. Yeah. GG's. That's game.
Perhaps I was wrong.
Well. Thank you everybody for showing up, having fun with us, listening to that stupid video we watched earlier, and then playing a little bit of Gears. We'll be back as always next Saturday, 9 p.m. CST. How is Master Chief going to beat Samus Aran? I don't know. You'd have to ask, I don't know, fan fiction artists to draw that up. But I'm sure there's some excuse that somebody out there can make. I really don't care. That sounds so rough. I will see everybody next Saturday, 9 p.m. CST. Thank you. Stay cool, have fun, be awesome. Buster out. Now I need my mouse to work so I can hit stop streaming.